lane is up, and it is not a great one to start out with. Way west, really, really gross plane path here. So again, we'll be keeping our eyes out for some of those fever drops where teams land next to each other and they fight over vehicles or some compound they don't really mean to be fighting over. It just happens with bad plane paths like this. We'll see if it comes through. Sun Sister is going to have El Pozo all to themselves, it looks like, so nobody's going to be contesting them. That's a team that I'm always a little kind of, I have my eyes on, as somebody might try to mess with them because they're towards the bottom of the leaderboard. Somebody might just say, well, with a bad plane path like this, let's go.
Yeah, they were having a lot of struggle. They showed in the interview that not much of what they have been preparing is working out in this tournament because there are so many good players and teams out there. But last week we showed a lot of aggressive moments, especially from Sun Sisters and also K7 and GEX, not to take them out. And so I think they're going to play a lot more aggressive. It's the final week. They have nothing else to lose. The bottom teams right now in the standings, I think they have to go for a challenge.
Yeah, definitely. I think you need to take your best shot. Just go for it, have confidence, and go with what works best for you and try to play to your strengths. And I'm seeing some not too much craziness, honestly. Maybe there might be Linshu and Silky crossing paths down there, and the circle just popped north.
Not bad, as Pero actually went to the center fields and Cobreria all the way on top. As this may go towards a little bit more towards GEX. I feel like it's about time where we have a circle popping towards that Nuevo. And Genji should be quite happy, even with some vehicles picked up right in the middle.
Yeah, for Genji, that's pretty typical to see Aqua 5 or sometimes it's an Onyx that drops out there on those further compounds for a little bit of extra vehicles and loot. And also information. They do it for information as well to see what's going on more towards the western side. But they have a northern rotation here for Genji, and that's kind of interesting. For Pero, they are pretty well left alone up by La Cobra, and it's not a bad spot to come from. Coming into the south, there you do have a ton of high ground to see what's going on.
Yeah, well, also in terms of looting, it's pretty easy. Lots of storage from the crater area, and the city itself is pretty good enough for a squad. What's interesting to me right now is that Entus, because they usually go all the way towards north of Impala, but because the plane path was so far away, they're actually all the way at the bottom with barely any route. And I think that can force them into a little slightly later west road rotation all the way up.
That's my assumption. That's what I would do if I was them. And I expect them, based on what I've seen previously in PUBG Korea, that they might send a scout out around El Pozo to the hills around there and see what's going on, and then kind of make their way in based on what they see. For MCG, it has been them at the power facility because they bumped Sun Sister out of there. Well, Sun Sister gets Pozo. There's like this whole cascade of dominoes that fall when one team like Quadro isn't in this lobby. So all of a sudden, the power facility's open, and then everybody else can kind of go where they want to go.
And of course, you would be wondering, what are they doing at training grounds? Just getting those bullets out of the way, just feeling your shots right now, as they had no one else to actually contest. But I think they want that to be heard from the other teams because they already have a pretty good spot in the circle, like near center right now.
Yeah, it doesn't give out too much information. This is Detonation Gaming White right by.
Ooh, early rotation.
Yeah, really early out of Los Leones from Detonation Gaming White. Much earlier than we're used to seeing out of them. So this is a little change up from them. They usually are taking their time, coming in late to circles, usually waiting for kind of phase 2 to decide what exactly they want to do. But this time around, they're making their way right up north.
Oh yes, because when they made that later rotation near the edge by phase 1, by the end of phase 1, even to phase 2, they were beat by a lot of other teams. A lot of other teams in a favorable position already, forcing them out from the circle, leaving them not much of a chance to come in. So I love this type of play. Certainly a big change in Miramar.
You can see Genji having similar thoughts on similar timings coming out of Picado.
Race is on.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is still MCG up here in the
Pretty
power
good
play.
shot from the Observer. I love the view here.
Yeah, the Observer's doing a good job showing us what exactly the teams are working with in front of them. Now, it does get a little flat the closer you get to the power grid, and that makes things a little wonky. So there's not a ton of terrain. There's enough early on. But, if circles ever come here, it gets really wild because it's so flat, especially to, like, the eastern part of the power grid.
And MCG, they had 2 members here, but with Destination Gaming White bumping in. They are forced out, and Genji let this happen even in previous week, making sure that another team's getting some information. If they're fighting, then they can also come up to the hill and take the spot away when they're a few knocks away. And Genji's going to just chill on that eastern side. Here to Ghibli, all the way out in the higher ground, actually getting a taste of this.
Yep, this is pretty typical for Ghibli. They love these mountains just to the southeast or south of San Martin. And you can see there Hikari was trying to see if he could pop a tire on some of those MCG vehicles, make it a little more difficult for them to rotate as things go along. Genji found the double gods over here and all the compounds along that particular edge of the mountainside, and they're going to hang out there for now. Leo comes down on top of infantry there, gets some decent damage, doesn't get a knock with that SKS.
Yeah, GEX in a not a bad, but still, we do see sometimes GEX spreading out a little too far, where they cannot really cover each other, especially on Miramar. So I think they have to be careful when there are so many teams already right next to them.
This is interesting. Detonation Gaming White loves to fight, and they will have no problem sending it. And if they think they, especially with getting a knock on Evil Lee here, they will full on send it. And I'm a little surprised to see MCG back out. I mean, they're not in the best of position to support their fallen teammate, but a lot of times you'll see Chinese teams, if they have a member knocked early on, it's just instantly turn on a dime, everything, try to help your teammate.
Well, I thought MCG actually combined forces. Didn't they just leave from
They must have just left.
I
thought so too.
They wanted to leave and just bumped into the lower part of the building there, and then wanted to stay until DGW actually ran in. That's a big loss early game.
Exactly. Huge. I mean, for one of our top 3 teams, you don't want to lose a player this early on in the first game of the day, but still plenty of games to play, still plenty of time to recover. Now, you do have Crazy Sam, who has found his way a little bit close to Pero territory, I'd say, as they moved all the way across the Pozo Road here. And now it's MCG that's also in Sun Sister's face. So Sun Sister, if they're not careful, if this fight really breaks out, they might just get ripped apart between 2 different teams.
Yeah, GEX is right next to them as Pero staying top, as that was shots fired for that open fire now, XCD. Yeah, almost getting Crazy Sam there. Oh, yes, they're right in the middle. You are 100% correct, Paper Thin, as they did not know. They knew MCG, but did not know much about GEX or Pero right on top.
Yeah, the information, Crazy Sam tried to, that's why he's going up that mountain, is he's trying to get up there to make sure that that is a clear ridge, that they're able to play this position for now, and maybe he might even set up there as an anchor or something like that, depending on the ideas. They're a little late, and I think Pero probably made a little bit earlier rotation than Sun Sister is expecting, and now they might lose another member out in the open. XDD does get the knock on a Faye. Polly was going for the pickup, but it is not going to be in time.
Kill steal is incoming. That seems like an okay spot, but they actually might lose both.
He got there. I'm so wrong. He just barely got there. Is he going to get this res, though, is the real question. I mean, I think CC, it looks like CC should have a good enough angle. He does. It's going to be long screw. Who's actually going to help the Sun Sisters out. Does some damage, and my, oh my, they got Faye back up. I thought that was not going to happen.
Yeah, it might not be able to get out. It depends on the timing and the focus fire. Okay, Pero started shooting onto MCG, so I think that's just good enough time for them to actually escape. As that's not a good spot to stay in.
Sun Sisters trying so desperately to get out of here. Everybody's shooting at them. And I tell you what, if they come out of this with 3 alive and they get something in the next circle, that's going to be a win. Because this is not an easy situation they face with a couple other teams already up there by the power grid area.
And where Sun Sisters just pulled off right now to get that heal off, it's out of the second circle already. And it's going to be a very tough road for them to actually rotate, because that western area is packed and not much of a road that I can think of right now.
All right, infantry is heading just north of.
Right into
it's going to be right underneath Gen G, and there's going to be an instant knock from 9 on a PO. PO, you got to know those car sounds are out there. He's standing right out in the open. He's going to get flushed for that. I got to question that, because he's got to hear those cars. He's got to know that somebody potentially has sightline.
Yeah, look, it's coming right now. Genji, they had one of the best position right now in the circle on the high ground. Infantry just coming, somewhat getting lucky with that rotation and the catch. They've heard the window sounds, and Loki 1 HP.
Oh, he does get the molly off. It does land onto Loki. So that's going to force the heals out from Loki. That might buy enough time for 9 to get heals of his own. Aqua 5 comes up, gets Zhao Ying knocked. So right now, they're trying to finish this one off, get the flush. It does come through for Aqua 5. A good grenade from Aqua 5 finds Lin. The support player for Gen G stepping up right now is now 9 and Longsker try to come in and see if they can turn this fight around.
Yeah, they gotta look at the Proton and also Tiamba from the other side at the same time. So they have one angle covered, but Gen G certainly winning that duel even after losing PO early on.
So they know an Onyx is over here. They don't know exactly where he is. And Onyx with a smart little play here, staying underneath this truck for now. And he heard that grenade from Longsker. So Longsker, he knows full well that Longsker's in this particular shack. And Onyx keeping himself hit a bit, but that grenade bounced short. And Onyx has to come over, isn't in time. 9 comes from behind, is going to find him.
That's 2 for 2. And down with just 2 members from both. As this, I think, just goes down to a duel. As Longsker coming right next to Aqua 5.
Woof. 9 again, dude. He's just finding these great flanks on the Gen G. That's 2 in a row that he's gotten Gen G players from the side.
Crisp play. His senses are actually amazing. Knowing exactly when to peek out from what angle. Trying to keep his teammate alive. Monster is trying to give him some more information.
Yeah, and it's going to be 9 winning that duel with Aqua 5 there, and Aqua 5 is going to have to throw some smokes and try to heal up. He's got to be careful in case there are any throwables coming.
Good bait.
Oh my god, is he going to go out and try to finish this? He knows. Oh, he pre-fires around the corner, but 9 isn't quite there in line, and someone else. Tianba. I was like, there's no way that's anybody on infantry. Who was it? It's going to be Lin Shu from Tianba, and that's going to be Gen G out early here.
What? From a pretty good position, dead center of the circle. So infantry run into a fight again against Gen Z. This time infantry wins the duel.
You can't be stepping out like that. If you're PO, you got to be aware of the cars pulling up, and you gotta play safe because you're in a dead man's land in between those buildings. And if you get caught out there, you're done. There's just nothing else.
Yeah, I think if PO was alive, they win the duel because he was already there, and infantry was pulling up to them with later rotations, slightly slower compared to Aqua 5 and Loki. As another big drop in Miramar already. First team to go out in match number 1 today. As we have the next circle. That's a pretty good spot if Gen G stayed alive. Tiamba, 2-2 split. That's beautiful right there.
Yeah, it's really, really nice for them. It's going to force 4 AM over to the graveyard here as well. OPGG having similar thoughts, so we might have 2 teams bumping heads inside of the graveyard. Afrika's going to stay on the edge and try to barricade K7 in while all this is going on. But yeah, Tianba controls a lot of ground. I'm a little worried about Tianba if somebody tries to crash one of those 2 compounds, and you can see OPGG kind of gets bullied around the graveyard because of 4AM's early rotation.
I don't think OPGG has a full understanding that there's 2-2 split from Tiamba. Checking in from the right in the middle. Yeah, shots coming in from the right, so I think they will rotate exactly towards the other 2 member or just staying here in the dip. I don't think they will stay here too long. Just buying some time for the next phase.
If OPGG can figure this out in their heads that they've got Tianba split, they might try to go for something. Because I know they're not afraid to push compounds if they think they have the advantage. I've seen them do it before, and they're very, very good at it. And then once they gain a central circle compound, they're one of the best in the business at holding it down. So I do definitely kind of have my eyes on the map on OPGG at a lot just to see if they make their movements. Now, Savior, excuse me, I almost said Summer. Savior here for K7 has found the front side of Afrika and is trying to relay the information to his team how they want to approach that.
This is exactly where I wanted to walk. Picado, Destination Gaming White, GEX, and even Entus sort of peeked in here, and then they decided to rotate towards the sort of a mini crate right at the east side.
Oh yeah! Oh my god! He almost got a 3-fer there. C's barely saves the day for Detonation Gaming White. And Machao gets Yan Li as well on the side. And Machao gonna quickly pick that one up. Now CC's right around the corner. Machao sees him. Machao's gonna cook this grenade. CC's like, saw the grenade in his hand. It's like, no way, bro. I ain't gonna try to stick around for that.
Yeah, making that big rotation now, knowing that nades can come anytime. Still, the fight is on from the other side. Maluppa goes down. Machao takes CC down.
Machao is nuts. This guy is arguably the best player in Japan. Him and Crazy Sam, definitely number 1 and 2 for sure. Just shooting poor CC in the butt there. And now over to Tianba as OPGG has found their moment to try to strike down onto Tianba. They've got one out. So now it's just M200 left all alone.
Lynch actually came out. He tried to bite on OPGG, knowing after the split, because they heard all the vehicle, they sort of have a pretty good idea when they have the split right in the middle. But Linshu did get quite aggressive. That's the type of play that he did make a lot of times, even in the previous week on Miramar. But not today. Tianba's going to lose big with that member.
Yeah, I think that one's a bit much there for Tianba. A little bit more than they can fit in their mouths coming forward. Now, especially with this happening, especially with the circle coming basically right down on top of them, they had the opportunity to have 4 up in a center circle location.
Yeah, now, bit of a favor for OPGG as M200 is going to respond against 4 AM in Africa. Still not too bad, as they still do have the pretty good compound with quite open angle from those compounds.
We are going to see Lycanon taken down here for New Happy as we make their way towards Peril. Oh, there's a Groza here. Oh no, XDD has a Groza, but no, it's going to be XKK. Zhao K going to get the knock there, but Mamu's going to follow that up with a knock of his own. Now it's just Mamu alive for Peril, and it's going to be Lou coming over, finishing XDD. Peril looking very, very beat up right now. Gyao as well going to go down. New Happy gone. Mamu stands alone, but at what cost?
But a big cost is 4 AM's the one that's actually smiling after the fight. Yeah, because this the next phase is actually forcing a lot of teams up the hill. Not with not many compounds. It's going to force a lot of these teams. Roa gets one from the side. Where's the driver?
Well, it's actually K7. Who needs a driver when you got support fire from the side? Booyah, who gets the knock onto Faye there as well. So Sun Sister tries to kind of send one in and put 2 back for support, but K7's here as well, so there's too many teams available for them to deal with. And right now, Afrika and K7 are in a bit of a standoff because of Sun Sister's position.
Yeah, Forever from the side actually finishing off Sun Sister.
Well, that helps.
They're picking up a lot of kill points just by staying near the graveyard when they barely made a rotation in this game.
Grenade coming out, and it's going to be EJ with that AK getting some good damage onto Booyah, who's going to follow it up with another one. It's going to be too hard from Griffin. That's actually getting the knock here, and the finish as well. So third party after third party on these compounds to the south of the graveyard.
Yeah, from the northern side, 4 AM, from south, Griffin, and they're just stuck right in the middle. Even K7 should be thinking about escaping the compounds already. After taking care of Afrika Freaks, that's exactly the same for Freaks. As K7 is trying to win that duel. They do have some time. They're still in the circle.
Yeah, absolutely. There's plenty of time to make that battle happen, and Zennon does get a knock. Now back over to 4 AM. We should be keeping our eyes on these guys as they are looking to light up the kill.
8 kills already.
It's huge. That's massive. It's actually insane. Oh, and K7's going to go down to Afrika while all of this is happening. So that is going to be K7 out in 12th place in Afrika, looking to see if they can find some way to climb back into that top 10, maybe even get top 8, top half. Find out if that's available. 4AM in the meantime wants to assert themselves as maybe one of these top 3 teams, already looking strong. Forever pouring some shots down into that member of Ghibli who's got the ghillie, but it's Lambu up front.
Yeah, got the ghillie and there's smoke, so you can't really have the best line of sight there. Got some damage in, not much. But still with those shots, 4 AM, they're still pushing their line into the hill. I think that's the important part, as a lot of teams are still clashing right near Tianba.
All right, grenade up front into Lambu. He deftly dodges that just a bit, takes some damage, and then he's going to prone back down, get his heals off, wait for the reinforcements. You do have Spear going for a flanking position up to the west of 4 AM. Looking to see if he can keep Godvi pinned down from the top of this church here, and that is going to be a knock from 9. It's going to be 9 from Forever away. That's a good 500 meters. Or so, and he's going to get that knock. That is crazy shooting.
9 is popping off today with those shots, taking Genji down first and then getting those long shots at SLR. Certainly one of the guns I'm having questions why it's not being nerfed for such a long time when everything else is being changed. I didn't say anything.
Bro,
okay.
I can't hear you over the SLR. Get out of here.
I said it, guys.
It's so good, of course. I mean, it is an amazing gun,
Buff
and
SKS.
we love it. Okay, well, let's not get crazy now. So it is now 4 a.m. does have a bit of an awkward situation where they do have to push up into the next circle, and Ghibli's trying to set up some kind of situation where they can maybe trap them a bit. There's still Mamu from Pero and then Tianba as well.
It's incredibly hard for VLG to even keep the ground because 4 a.m. will be pushing. They already know with Lambo's position. That's the exact reason they sent Lambo to keep 4 a.m. sort of out of the circle. And they know that Tianba's right on top. Maybe not exactly where Mamu is. So
maybe
that's going to be a very hard ground to actually keep control.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Maybe 4 a.m., I don't know what their vehicle situation's like. They might have to think about trying a different maneuver. I just don't know if they have any vehicles available left in here. We'll find out as time goes on. Now, Lambu repositioning. He's kind of aware of the movements of 4 a.m. and trying to just mirror them and keep them boxed in.
Yeah, VLG is trying to force 4 a.m. into the eastern side so they face Afrika Freaks. So they can only think about infantry, who's actually moving up right now into an open spot. And 9 makes a pretty easy rotation in. That's not bad with the cover of long square from the side.
Yeah, my worry here for VLG is that once a fight pops off, if they get involved, then Tianba's going to reach out and try to, you know, squeeze down on top of them. We'll see if that happens. 4 a.m. now is making their way into the Freak. So the push here by VLG is successful in that you're getting 4 a.m. into the more of the position you would rather have them in. In the meantime, 9 continues to dumpster people with the SLR. He is actually on fire this first round.
At least 350 out.
Dude, this guy ate his Wheaties, man. He is ready to rock and roll.
And GEX is running towards Entus saying, oh, that's a kill that I want. I'm the only one left. Entus, that was a pretty good timing because they were making that rotation. Okay, KO did find the last remaining member, Leo. Down he goes, but that knock from 9 right there from infantry actually forced a very much later rotation for Entus.
Yeah, and now Entus is kind of readjusting their sights. They're looking more towards infantry than they are towards MCG. Originally, their idea, I think, was to wrap around the south and try to get underneath MCG, but now they're a little worried about what the heck is going on up here with infantry and how close they are and, you know, how much they need to worry about this with a bit of a 2-2 split back over towards the east. And again, still Tianba inside of this, OPGG as well with 3 up each.
This has to be done for 4 a.m. They have to make the push towards the eastern side and then go up that hill to get that control for that chicken dinner. They know they have to go up against the Afrika Freaks, but with only few men, Crazy's got to look on their backs, so not a full squad power for 4 a.m.
All right,
so there's a chance for Afrika Freaks.
We've seen it before. The throwables have been really good for forever in this tournament. Dangche is going to be the first knock from that particular grenade. Now there are other ones rolling in, trying to get the finish. Dangche very hurt. You're gonna have his teammate EJ coming over there, seeing if he can go for the res. Oh my gosh, that vehicle, a little bit lucky there for Afrika. It doesn't land on top of them, and they still have enough cover from this rock, I think, to go for this.
4,000 IQ if Ghibli wins the fight from our... And 4 a.m.'s breaking apart because they had to. They were forced with this 2-2 split against Afrika Freaks and VLG. Forced by VLG from 3-4 minutes ago with that big setup with the vehicles. And with just 2 remaining members, they can barely make it in now. With Freaks actually winning that duel was big.
Yeah, this is VLG being sheepdogs, hurting 4 a.m. into the positions they want them to be in. Under gets a good grenade onto Summer. Now the push is on for Entus. Tanky, so scary up close. He's going to come up over the hill. His attention gets turned. He gets some damage into Sungjong. He's going to get the headshot and the knock. Now over to another member of Entus. Indigo turns on him. He's going to find Tanky and finish him. Entus now just has to finish off Lingdu and the job will be done. It's going to be Entus starting strong here towards the end of the first game of the day.
Still with a full squad against MCG. That was pretty quick too, so no other team can actually challenge them as there is no other team making that rotation from that southern side of the next circle. Now even the fights are going on near Tianba. But of course, better ground, better control by Tianba. They were here. They were getting all those information.
You got to give 9 a ton of credit. Great round from him here to pick up some kills and some points for infantry along the way. He had some 6 shots in there as well. Still only 8 kills for Forever. Another good grenade finds EJ. Now he's looking to cook another. This guy is a throwables master. Still 4 mollies in there as well. That grenade bounces a bit too far to get any damage onto Afrika, but he's going to get the finish onto EJ. Roa's going to step up though. Close the door. 4 a.m. is done.
And meanwhile, Kale actually steals that kill point onto Xiaolu all the way onto the other side of the circle. Amazing play. Entus got really high ground control, and also OPGG. They have some chances. Griffin there, they have a pretty good position with Asura and Too Hard, but they're a 2-man team. So I don't think they can handle the pressure of OPGG and Africa Freaks.
Look at Mamu here. He is just waiting to
still
ruin
there?
the round. No, the wrong time. Lambu sees him, steps up and shoots him as he's thinking about going for a stun, and it's going to be under from forever away. Under gets the long-range finish onto Mamu. Mamu just a little bit picked the wrong time there to try to go for that stun.
Oh, still amazed that he was still alive right next to Tiago when there were that many teams, that many fights going on. Even Infantry almost got a kill on him. Yep, now Kale, the entire squad of Entus, as the next circle does shift towards Entus 100%.
I mean, how crazy is this match going to be if it's Entus versus Tiamba
Oh,
to finish?
Frika!
AO stepping up right next to it. It's going to be Dengche. He's going to get one. Now Entus is getting involved in this fight from afar. Indigo gets one as well. Dengche comes over, gets Dumbo. It's just Silky left for OPGG, all on his lonesome inside of this shack. And Afrika pretty much makes a successful push into the largest force, the main force of OPGG.
As Griffin wanted to get some taste and get some kill points away, as it's going to be actually Entus pushing out Griffin. Griffin were looking to pick up a few more kill points before they went out, but not against Entus when you're only a few hundred meters out.
Yeah, look at what Entus can see. Literally everything in this circle. This is the Lion King position for them.
VLG.
They can see everything. VLG's getting two over onto Tianba. Only M200 left. They are storming into this compound, looking to finish the job. They know he's in here. Spear sees him. Spear's gonna come in and get knocked. Can Lambu finish the job? No! Sunjong is gonna get him, and now M200 is the only one alive, but Entus finishes the job. This is looking good for OGN, looking to retake their spot atop the leaderboard.
With 11 kills already, taking down 1-1 OPGG Afrika Freaks. That should be an easy job for them, as Silky right in the middle. Dengche still out in the blue, trying to heal up and looking for that second place finish. Entus has everything packed and ready to go.
In force is OGN, just storming through MCG, taking the high ground, and then wiping clean the rest of this slate as they look to just finish Silky off. The throwables are in. Silky doesn't have much to work with inside of the shack. The grenade from Indigo gonna land right out on top of him. I think Dengjae's just gonna eat the blue here and just cede the round to Entus. He's trying to heal it out, but there's not much left for him to play for. The shots ring out. Entus comes back and takes the first game with a 12-kill chicken dinner.
What a match for them. Entus coming up clutch. That's a lot of kill points. Plus, Tiamba did stay for a pretty long time, so I think we have to look into the total points. But what a dominant starting from OG and Entus. Might be able to boost them up in the first place.
And yeah, I think that should be just enough to catch up and surpass Tianba for